Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this episode, we'll be looking at my vlog for Summerween 2023. Summerween is an annual readathon hosted by Gabby Reads and Olivia Reads a Latte. Links down in the description. Summerween tries to bring the spooky vibes of Halloween into the summertime season, and as a fan of thriller and horror books, I am here for it, and I'm very excited to be participating for the first time this year. So today is day one of Summerween, and I've got the Gavin reading sprint video on. I've got my copy of The Writing Retreat, which will be my thriller for Summerween, and I'm ready to get started. So the end of the first reading sprint with Gavin got me to part 2, The Estate. At this point, all the characters have gotten to the writing retreat. We've gotten the main character's backstory of what really happened between her and another one of the contestants in this writing retreat competition. Quite a bit to take in. It's got a lot of dark themes, and I'm liking the vibe so far. So I'm going to continue with the sprint today, and my goal is to try to get this finished up before I go to bed tonight. So Gavin's about to start the second leg of our reading sprint, another 40 minutes of just chill music to read to. I've been reading while he's been talking as well, so now I'm up to chapter 15. I'm hoping to get to 150 by the end of this sprint. Okay, so I actually paused the reading sprint to be able to get a little bit farther in the book because I've now reached part 3, the basement, and part 2 introduced some things that I was not expecting. This is much steamier than I thought it was going to be, and it's also not going the direction I thought it would. I'll have to go back and read the description of the book again, but I could have sworn there was something about a death, and we're 160 pages in. No one's dead. It's just gotten very, very weird. So update for day 2 of Summerween. It is now about 2:30 in the morning. I found a reading sprint from Gabby Reads and was able to get to part 4 of The Whisper Man, which is just shy of 200 pages. So I've got another 150 to do tomorrow, which seems completely doable. I also read through The Night Eaters today. Absolutely gorgeous art in this one, and one section that had a very good haunted house feeling, but overall I think I'm going to rate this a 4. So a little spooky, not as strong a title as Nice House on the Lake or Something is Killing the Children. My goal for tomorrow is to finish up The Whisper Man, and then I borrowed an audiobook off of Libby for reading in the dark. I'll be reading Marina by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. I'm going to update tomorrow, and we'll keep you posted on how Summerween day 3 goes. All right, update for day 3 of Summerween. I finished The Whisper Man today. This is not what I expected it to be, not even going into it, but it is going to end up being a 5-star read for me. To discuss how much these synopses give away everything except for like the last 100 pages of the book. But still a good read, and this is going to have to be my book that takes place in the fall because the majority of the story is in September. So I'm counting this as my book that takes place in the fall, and I'm moving on to the only one left, which will be my book that has black or orange on the cover. Be starting that tomorrow probably. Tonight I'll start the audiobook for Marina. I'll get maybe 45 minutes or an hour into it tonight, reading at night. So trying to hit all of the goals for this Summerween. So I'll keep you posted and I'll have an update again tomorrow. Update for Summerween Day 4. I have gotten absolutely no reading done today. It is almost 10, I think. 9:30, 10, somewhere in there. I was busy getting videos made and scheduled, and then dealing with trying to find a way to more easily transfer my videos from my phone to my computer to make videos in the future. And so I've not gotten any reading done. We're looking for a reading sprint right now to finish out tonight with some reading. And I've decided that I'm not going to do The Only One Left. I am instead going to do Dark Matter. Slightly different genre, so I'm hoping that it gives me something a little bit different than these last few books have. So I'm gonna go ahead and start reading. We'll read The Only One Left just later in the month. We'll make a video after we finish up the reading sprints to give my thoughts on Dark Matter. My audiobook is going well. It's a gothic horror, which I think might be what I need to look up in the future. A lot of these books have seemed to have a supernatural element and then not had that supernatural element. And I'm hopeful that Marina actually does have it, because it started off and had some really spooky atmosphere. I'm about an hour into the 8-hour audiobook, so I'm hoping to get some more done tonight before bed as well. So just finished the first sprint with Dark Matter, and I have to say that if I hadn't read the synopsis of this book, I would maybe be a bit more confused than I am right now. But I feel like there's a pretty obvious explanation as to what's going on, and I wonder how long it's going to take for the protagonist to catch up to my thinking. I will say that this book, unlike some of the others I've been reading, which have been very slow starts, this one immediately starts up with action and with the plot getting rolling. And at this point, I'm on chapter 4. So I've only read 3 chapters, about 50 or 60 pages in at the moment. And already so much has happened. It's very exciting. So I am really enjoying this one, and I'm hoping to get to 150 before the end of the night. We are on a break, so I'm going to enjoy some Bluebell Dr. Pepper float ice cream before the next leg of the sprint starts. So it's just after midnight, and I've gotten to page 120 in Dark Matter, and there was a very shocking event around page 110 that was very surprising, and the protagonist now is starting to put together what I had figured out pretty quickly was going on. So that's refreshing to see, and I think the remainder of the book is going to be him trying to figure out how to escape the situation that he's found himself in. I think I'm going to call it for the night on this one. The chapter, it's a little frustrating because I'm not quite through with the chapter, but the next chapter break isn't until like 160, and that's just a little bit too much to read for tonight. Very far away. And so I think I'll go listen to Marina for about an hour and then head to bed and try to get some reading done in the morning. Hopefully tomorrow I won't have to devote as much time to editing and to moving around video files, and I'll be able to get more reading done and be able to finish Dark Matter before the end of the day tomorrow. So I'll be back tomorrow with another recap, and we'll see how it went. Marina is my book to read in the dark. So this is what I've set up for tonight. I think it really creates the gothic horror ambiance and will make for a very restful end to the day. Update for day 5 of Summerween. I am only about 20 pages from the end of Dark Matter, but it's also 2 o'clock in the morning. And so unfortunately, I think that's going to have to wait until tomorrow. This is really strong, I have to say. Like, probably one of the best things I've read this year. I've really enjoyed every aspect of it. It has started off very strong, and then each time it escalates, it is in a way that makes sense with the plot moving forward, and are also things that I'm like anticipating being a problem. So every time I've said, well, what about this idea given the framework of the story, then very soon after that, that problem has arisen. So it's getting to a point now where I'm not sure how it's going to resolve. I'm only 20 pages away from the end. I still don't know how it's going to end. So that's very compelling. And unless it completely just botches it in these last 20 pages, this is probably going to end up being a 5-star as well. So a number of really strong reads for Summerween this year, and I'm really glad that I'm participating in it. I should be able to get that knocked out first thing tomorrow on day 6, and then I can focus on getting Marina finished. I have 5 hours left in the audiobook. I want to finish it at night, but I'll listen to some during the day tomorrow, just so I don't have to stay up late again listening to it. And then after that, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I do know I want to read Never Open It, which is a collection of Japanese fairy tales, which looks like it has a little bit darker of an edge to it than the originals, but that's for a different project and not necessarily for Summerween. So I might read that tomorrow as well. I'm back tomorrow for an update on Summerween. I managed to get up this morning and finish up Dark Matter for my orange and black cover read, and I have to say that this one ended really strong. There's a little bit at the very end that I feel is maybe a little too convenient given how grounded relatively the rest of the story is, but I feel like this hit a really good mix of sci-fi, thriller, and a romance story as well, a story of love in here as well. But there are some issues at the end that are never going to be resolved, and I feel like for the protagonist, his story wraps up a little bit too cleanly, but I feel like it got to a point where that was going to have to happen or there'd be no end to the story. This is definitely getting a 5-star rating from me. Read quick, it got into the action right away, and there was very little point in here where I felt like the story faltered. I'm going to try to get a few hours of Marina listened to today during the day, and then tonight I should be able to finish that up. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do with tomorrow. I might go ahead and start The Only One Left, but we'll see. But first off, I was super out of it this morning, and I looked back at that recording and was not super happy with it, but I feel like it's a realistic thing of what happened, and so I'm going to keep it in there. Today was a good day. We got out of the house, we went to a Barnes & Noble and picked up some more books. So I got Horror Store and another volume of Something is Killing the Children. I picked up Horror Store, which is a haunted house story in a IKEA location. Sounds really interesting. I picked up Something is Killing the Children Volume 5, which I'll probably read tomorrow. And my partner picked up Scary Stories for Young Foxes the City, which is a sequel to one of the books that she read for the Readathon. So That was a lot of fun. We had dinner at Chewy's, which was a nice change of pace. And then as soon as we got the kids down for bed, I've basically been jumping into Marina. I was in the Papasan chair with the mood lights on and was just enjoying listening to the end of that book. Marina is a gothic story, so a lot of its narrative is told in these flashbacks where people narrate very long stories of other individuals' lives, and it ends on a incredibly sad note. So ultimately it ended up at 4 stars for me. I liked the atmosphere. I liked the fact that it actually had a supernatural element that was not revealed later to be something normal. And I enjoyed the vibes. It was definitely a good one to choose for reading in the dark. It just wasn't my favorite. Some of the plotting was a little bit too slow. And again, that's kind of to be expected with the gothic genre. I finished up all of my challenges. Marina was my title for reading something in the dark. And so tomorrow I think I will go ahead and start with the only one left, just because we're right about where I wanted to start with this month's book troop read. So I will get that started tomorrow, and I'll probably read through that volume of Something is Killing the Children. So I'll be back with one last update, a brief update tomorrow, and try to get this video posted by the end of the day so that it hits on the last day of the readathon. It is 9 o'clock in the morning right now, and it is already 90 degrees outside. It gets up to 102 or 103 here. I have to get up this morning and do some lawn work, which means I'm kind of in the perfect mood for another reading day. That perfect mood being too exhausted to do anything but sit and read. It's my victory lap day. I've already completed all of my challenges, and so what I'm going to do today is start The Only One Left and Something is Killing the Children, Volume 5. I'll probably start with this just so I get through something for day 7, and then I'll start The Only One Left. I doubt that I'll be able to finish it today because it is on the lengthier side, almost 400 pages. And so, but I do want to get it started, and I do want to have this finished by the end of the week. Final vlog, final entry for Summerween. It is the end of day 7, and I don't think I'm going to get any more reading done tonight, but I was able to finish Something is Killing the Children, Volume 5. I feel like this fits the Summerween theme very well, and was a very strong entry. If you've not picked up this comic and you want something that is like a horror comic, this is probably one of the strongest books I can recommend. Our protagonist, Erica Slaughter, is facing the repercussions of what happened, the fallout from the first arc of the comic. And it's also nice to see how much it's building up on the lore created not only with this title, but with House of Slaughter, in bringing in the different colored masks and their specializations. It's just really entertaining. The art is also something that I feel is really appropriate for this title. It's kind of got like a grimy and like sharp edge to it that lends a quality to both the monsters and to the everyday scenes. It's in some way appropriate. I'm not an artist. I don't know. The lines go whoosh whoosh. I also technically started The Only One Left, but I'm only 25 pages into the book, so there's not a whole lot I can say about this. I will be continuing to read this tomorrow and Saturday. I'm hoping to finish by Saturday so that I can be ready for the book troop live stream later this month. To wrap up the Summerween week, I had the writing retreat, which I realized I never actually gave a review or rating for. Unfortunately, I felt like this one was trying to do a little bit too much. The story was muddled. The elements in the beginning of the book are not the elements you get toward the end. It also just had some very bizarre choices in the writing throughout. And so I think this one landed at a 3 for me when I went to do my ratings. So I know for some people this is like their kind of campy, weird thriller that they're looking for, but it just did not work for me as well as it could have. I read The Night Eaters for my manga selection or my comic selection for Summerween. I read The Whisper Man for a book that takes place during the fall. And I read Dark Matter for my orange and black copy, my orange and black cover. And I read Marina for a book to read in the dark on audiobook. I'm happy I participated in Summerween this year. It was a lot of fun. And I hope that through this process, you see something that you'd be interested in. And I look forward to the next Readathon. It was a lot of fun to challenge myself to get certain books read. I'm very fortunate that a lot of what I read for this Readathon was already on my TBR. So it also helped me take a good chunk out of my books to read for this month. Please let me know in the comment section if you participated in Summerween and what you read. If you have any recommendations for me, thrillers and horror are some of my favorite reads. So I'm always looking for new suggestions for what to read. In fact, Whisper Man was picked up by a recommendation from someone on Instagram. So if you have something that you read that you think worked out really well or you really enjoyed, let me know. I hope you guys are having a great summer and had a successful Summerween, and I'll see you in the next one.